Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking about human trafficking with a nonprofit that has been on the front line of that fight for almost a decade. That story next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, thanks to movies like Sound of Freedom, human trafficking is now suddenly top of mind for millions and millions of Americans. And that's important because there have been really countless organizations on the front line of that fight. And one of those organizations is DeliverFund. It's a nationally known organization. Christi Nabors is in the studio today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Wonderful to be here.
Thank you. Okay, tell us about DeliverFund.
Yeah, DeliverFund is a private intelligence nonprofit that hunts human traffickers online.
And you're surrounded by a bunch of people who worked at like the DEA and the FBI.
Well, yes, it's former military special operations, former CIA, NSA Homeland Security analysts who worked in counterterrorism, and they work in counter human trafficking. So the same way that they were hunting terrorists, they teach and train law enforcement to take a proactive approach to hunt human traffickers. But really we do that through data and technology.
Yeah, and they're the best of the best. Here's an overview.
There's a war. Our children are being sold for sex on the streets of the cities that we live in. We need to do something about this. But I've been hearing about the war since 2009, and we still haven't solved the problem. They are hunting our children. They are turning our children into commodities. And our streets are not safe as long as those traffickers are out there.
They'll reach out to those girls on social media, and they'll look for that 12, 13, 14-year-old girl who says that she's mad at her dad on social media. And that trafficker looks for that opportunity to start manipulating her, separating her from her friends and separating her from her family by telling her the things that she wants to hear.
It's a teen girl that ran away from home, and a trafficker picked her up at the bus stop or saw her at the mall or offered her a warm meal or a place to stay.
He gets her to do something that she regrets, and then will use that as blackmail against her in order to get her to do more things, or to get her hooked on narcotics, and then she'll do anything to get the narcotics. The statistics show that 1 in 6 runaways will be approached by a human trafficker within the first 48 hours that they run away.
We started DeliverFund with the idea of we want to rescue the victim, but the best way to do that is to actually remove her trafficker from the system. And in doing that, you not only rescue that victim, but you rescue the potential victims that trafficker would have in the future.
At DeliverFund, we started looking at all the different problems and seeing where we could be the most effective. We take our special operations and intelligence capabilities and our technology, we focus them on finding out who the human trafficker is so that we are preventing future victims by eliminating the human trafficker.
Such a compelling story. Christi, when did you join the fight?
I've been with DeliverFund for a year and a half.
And since you've been with them, what is the most powerful moment that you've experienced since being there?
Yeah, it was actually when I first started with DeliverFund, and our team was working at the end of the football season, there's a big game that culminates at the end of it. And our team was working support for that operation because we know that human trafficking increases at events, with lots of people around. And I heard about a girl, our team was up in LA, and they brought our team the list of missing children in the Los Angeles area. And we have an embedded analyst, a DeliverFund embedded analyst, who's an employee of DeliverFund, but he works and he's embedded in Houston, the Human Trafficking Rescue Alliance in Houston. There's over 63 different agencies in the Houston area that all work together, and that's their Human Trafficking Task Force. Our analyst there in Houston, Sal, he was up in LA working this end of the culmination football experience. And they said, can you look at this list of missing children and see if they happen to be in your database? Because DeliverFund is one of the world's most extensive digital databases that collects potential human trafficking, traffickers' activity, and it has over 1 billion data points. Actually, it's got way more than that now. They said, do you know this girl? And Sal said, I know this name of this girl. He said, in fact, I know who her trafficker is. They said, well, she's a 16-year-old girl missing from Inglewood, California. And Sal's like, oh, I know where she is. She's in Houston. I can get her trafficker, bring him in, and we can locate the girl. If that year, it was February 4th. But the girl's birthday was January 28th, 2004.
Wow.
So she was just a few days out of being 18. So she had already passed the marker where then you could actually go and get her. At that point, she's an adult, but she'd been missing for 2 years since she was 16 years old. And that story was so poignant because my daughter's birthday is January 31st, same year. So my daughter had just barely turned 18. This girl was just barely 18 at the time.
Wow, I can see where
So that one got me.
Yeah, I totally get it. There are some powerful videos, so I encourage everybody to follow them on social media. Here's one of the videos.
You stole our children out of stores.
Out of cars.
From bus stops. You took them when they were vulnerable.
When we weren't vigilant.
When our guards were down.
You destroyed their innocence.
Their bodies. Their hearts.
You made them your slaves.
You pumped them full of drugs.
You sold their bodies.
You got away with it. Until now.
We're tracking your ads.
We have found your burner phones.
We've infiltrated your networks.
We have activated the greatest warriors. We are SEALs.
NSA analysts.
Delta Force.
Members of the CIA and the FBI.
Special operations veterans.
We are parents.
We're patriots.
And we are coming for you.
For you.
For you.
For you. For you.
It ends here.
So powerful. And Christi, I understand that you guys have an app you're about to launch.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be made available to the public. It is the HT Safeguard. It's not out yet, but we've got another month before it's released to the public. And this is something that has all of the human trafficking watch list data in it. So regular folks, not law enforcement, can just put in their Karate Kids phone number to see if they were ever associated or possibly associated with a potential human trafficking arrest or case.
Sure. And I think people are just now waking up to the fact that this is not a problem that happens in some third world nation. This happens right here in Dallas, Texas.
This happens right here. And, you know, I think that there are there's a lot of misinformation about how children are trafficked or people are trafficked, and a lot think it's kind of like the grab and go, but it's really less than 1% of victims are just taken. Usually they know the person, it's familial trafficking, it is a lot of grooming online. Most of it is online grooming through your kids' social platforms.
And Christi, I know you're a nonprofit who works on donations. Look into the camera and tell people why they need to get involved.
Now more than ever, your children are at risk. There are predators that are coming after your kids, not in the traditional way that you think, grabbing them off the street. They are on your kids' Instagram. They are on your kids' Discord messaging, on their gaming platforms. They will spend a lot of time and a lot of money to get your kid to make decisions that normally they would not make. I have seen cases where children, traffickers will, parents like we know, they're in this parental guardianship, and it's so much work that they don't have time. In fact, they don't even know all of the platforms that their kids are being targeted on. You think you're checking the Instagram Messenger and that's it, but there's other platforms that are out there that are not even available, that it's not even on the home screen of the kid's phone because they know to hide it.
Wow. Such a powerful story. Thank you for sharing it. We're also going to end with the website, which is DeliverFund.org. Christi Nabors, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.